Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Obviously I don't know when I'm going to put this up, but so yesterday was the 3rd of Jan and yesterday was Boris's announcement about schools closing and about the 3rd national lockdown, which, I mean, we kind of all expected it to an extent. Whether you agree with it or not, that's a different question. But it just made me think. Schools and exams have been cancelled for A-levels and GCSE students for the 2nd year on the run now. I'm not saying that's a bad thing at all. However, I do think there's been a forgotten group. University students haven't actually been told if we have to go back. We don't know if we're allowed to travel to go back to our uni addresses. We've been told it's not going to be in person until at least February half term. So by that it makes sense for us to stay at home, but we're still paying rent. Some universities are better than others. They may refund their students that are living in halls on campus for this term. However, private landlords do not have to. They are under no obligation to have the students' interests at heart. A lot of their lettings that they give out are for the sake of business and for the sake of money only. They don't really care about the students and they have no reason to. So I just thought I'd explain a little bit about the university's response to COVID and how we've kind of got to this position, because obviously this is the time that people are applying to uni. I know the UCAS deadline is sometime this month, so it's super soon, and I honestly think how a university has responded to the coronavirus would impact my decision hugely, because it is such an important decision, because you are there for 3 possibly longer years of your life. And I think if I can give you some insight in how Liverpool Hope has kind of panned out and helped us during this pandemic, it might help your decision, it might sway your decision. Obviously this is not from the uni specifically, this is completely my opinions and everything. Yeah, I just think if you're applying to uni, it's so important to see the well-rounded picture, and you don't get that from universities always. You see their view of it, you don't see a student's view of it. So going back to March of 2020, the world shut down. I left my halls because I was on campus in my first year. I left my halls on the 20th of March and travelled home because I'm only about 45 minutes away. So I travelled home, I packed everything into my car and I drove home, and that was it. Yeah, that was it. I posted my key back to uni and they were quite good with us. They said, okay, if you're not living here, we're not going to charge you. So they charged us for the Easter 4 weeks, but they didn't charge us for the last 8-week term. So my halls were £105 a week in first year, and so I was refunded 8 weeks worth, so £840, which honestly I really appreciated. They didn't have to do that, but in my head, Hope has the hearts of the students at the forefront. Since March also, during the first lockdown, we got an email every single day from the Pro-Vice-Chancellor of the university, just giving us an update. She put some pictures of her cat in there, just to keep everybody in the loop, just to help people understand what was going on campus, because things were changing so quickly at this point in time. And then I think, if I'm not wrong, after June, well, it was still technically term time, but also it would have been the exam period, we got an email once a week on a Friday from her, and that's still happening to this day on the 5th of January 2021. We're still getting emails from the Pro-Vice-Chancellor giving us an update on what's going on campus, what the next steps are for us and for them, and what uni will look like going back in, well, we thought January, but now February. For me, obviously I was a first year, so they cancelled my exams and they used my coursework, so my portfolios and things that I'd done throughout the year, and that gave me my overall grade for the year. They still put online lectures on for us, but because we had no exam, it wasn't like it was going to be tested because all our work had been marked previously. So that actually was a big relief. I don't know about anyone else, but the first lockdown was so overwhelming, and it it changed in an instant. Everything went I guess everything went wrong so quickly that I know I didn't have time to process it. So when they cancelled my exams, I was very grateful. That was the first lockdown. Exams were cancelled, uni was online, but there was nothing to follow up from it. Fast forward to September, when my second year started. It was still all online. I haven't stepped foot on campus this year for education. I've been up there to go on walks with a few people, but I haven't been onto campus to see my lecturers. I haven't seen anybody academic in person since March. Which brings me on to the next kind of issue, and I don't blame this on the university at all, but we are still paying £9,250 for this education. If we don't have access to the library because we're not allowed on campus, yeah, it seems kind of strange that we're paying for a service that we're not getting. That's just my opinion. Back to September, everything was online, so I have 4 Zoom live lectures and seminars and tutorials per week, and then I have 4 lectures pre-recorded to watch as well, and that is my degree. I have 3 essays due in this month, each in varying length. I have 2 2,500 word essays and 1,500 word essay as well, based on what we've been doing in seminars and tutorials and wider reading, which I think is completely fine. That's what was going to happen anyway, regardless of the pandemic. And honestly, that doesn't bother me too much. I'm going to be an advocate for Hope here because honestly I think they've done quite a good job. They've kept us in the loop. In every single email there has been, if you need help, if you're struggling mentally, financially, in whatever way, get in touch with the university and they will help. So I highly, highly commend Hope for that. I know it's a very student-centred university. It's not, in my opinion, it's nowhere near as business-minded as other universities and experiences from other people that I've heard. It really puts the health and mental well-being of its students at its heart. I just sound like a massive advocate for Liverpool Hope now, don't I? But yeah, I really do think they've done a good job with that. I haven't reached out for help in any way to the uni, so I actually don't know the other side of it. Once you've reached out for help, do you get it? However, the fact that it's in every single email saying, if you need help, go get it, to me sounds like, okay, there's a good network here that if people are struggling, it's there for you if you need it, which I know a lot of people appreciate. If you're in the position to be applying to universities at the moment, even if you've sent it off, maybe just have a look, see if you can find student opinions on how they've handled the virus, how they've handled the vaccine, how they've handled testing, etc. I'd recommend that. Before I left to come home for Christmas, Hope was encouraging all students to get 2 tests. One about 3 days before you left, and then another one 3 days later on the day you leave. And if either were positive, you had to isolate in university, in your halls or house or whatever, for the allotted 10 or 14 days, depending on what it was at that point in time. And then you could go home for Christmas. And it's the same when we're coming back. So if I move back to Liverpool now, I have to go onto campus, get a test, and then 3 days later I have to go and get another one and isolate accordingly, just to make sure that people aren't spreading COVID. So yeah, as this new national lockdown starts tomorrow, I really hope you're okay. If you're not, please reach out. Whether you're a uni student, a college student, literally anyone, please reach out for help. I'll leave some links and some phone numbers down in the description box. There are people there to listen, there are people there to help you. You are not fighting this alone. You are not the only one going through this. I don't really know what else to say other than stay safe. Try and stay well if you can, keep yourself occupied if that's what you need. If you just need to relax and watch Netflix all day, or do what you need to do to get through this. You've got through the last 2, so you can get through this one. as hard as and dark as it may seem, you can do it. I'm just sending all my love to every single one of you. God bless. Stay well, stay safe, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.